On this video, you will learn on how to compute interest. What is interest? Interest is a sum of money received or paid for the use of someone else's money. So it can be for commercial institutions like banks. Interest is also paid for the services rendered. So we have three types of interest. First is the simple interest. Simple interest is an interest earned at the end of the allotted time between the lender and the borrower. So it can also be a quick method of calculating the interest charge on a loan. The formula for simple interest is I is equal to P times R times T, where I is the interest or the total amount of interest paid, P is the principal or the amount lent or borrowed, R is the rate or the percent of the principal earned or paid. It is expressed as a decimal fraction, so percentages must be divided by 100. Example, if the rate is 15%, then use 15 all over 100, or that is 0.15. And T is the time or the time in years of the loan. For example, Aziz deposits 5,000 Philippine peso at a bank at an interest rate of 5% per year. How much interest will he earn at the end of 4 years? For the solution, from that problem, the given are the principal is equal to 5,000, the rate is 5%, or that is 5 divided by 100, or that is 0.05. For the time, that is equal to 4. Then plug these values into the formula. So interest now is equal to 5,000 times 0.05 times 4. That is equal to 1,000. So 1,000 Philippine peso is the amount of interest as is earned at the end of 4 years. Another example, how many months will it take 15,000 Philippine peso to earn 56.25 Philippine peso at 1.5% simple interest rate? So in here, what is asked is the time. Specifically, the time in months. So the given are, the principal is equal to 15,000, the rate is 1.5%, or that is 1.5 divided by 100, which is equal to 0.015. The interest is equal to 56.25, and the time is missing. And plug in these values into the formula. So we now have 56.25 is equal to 15,000 times 0.015 times T. Then 15,000 times 0.015 times T is equal to 225 T. Then divide both sides of the equation by 225. So T now is equal to 0.25. So what is asked is the time in months. And the time we calculated is 0.25 years. So how many months is 0.25? Since we have 12 months in a year, therefore, let us multiply 12 with 0.25. So 0.25 times 12 is equal to 3. Therefore, it will took 3 months for 15,000 Philippine peso to earn 56.25 Philippine peso at 1.5% simple interest rate. Next is the future of maturity value. when we take a loan, this is the total amount we would need to pay back. So it means that the principal is added to the interest. So it is given in the formula. So F is equal to P times the quantity 1 plus RT, where F is the final amount or the future value or the maturity value, which is the principal plus the interest. Then P is the principal amount, R is the rate of interest per year in decimal, and T is the time period involved in years. Example, JP borrows 3,000 Philippine peso from a bank at an annual interest rate of 3.75% to be paid back in 6 months. How much interest will she pay at the end of the loan? So for the solution, we have the given. So the principal is equal to 3,000. The rate is equal to 3.75%, or that is 3.75 divided by 100, which is equal to 0.0375. And the time is 6 months. So since time should be in years, therefore, let us divide 6 by 12. So that is 1/2. Then, plug in these values into the formula. So we now have F is equal to 3,000 times the quantity 1 plus the quantity 0.0375 times 1/2. Then, that is now equal to 3,056.25. So 3,056.25 Philippine peso is the amount JP will pay at the end of the loan. Another example, Mia Benson invested her summer earning of 5,200 Philippine peso in a savings account which pays 2.5% interest. How much will this amount be in 8 months? So for the given, the principal amount is 5,200. The rate is 2.5%. So 2.5 divided by 100, which is equal to 0.025. And the time is 8 months, since it should be in years. Therefore, let us divide it by 12. Or that is 2 all over 3, or 2/3. Then, plug these values into the formula. So F now is equal to 5,200 times the quantity 1 plus 0.025 times 2/3. So that is now equal to 5,286.67. Therefore, 5,286.67 Philippine peso is the amount Mia will have on her savings account by the end of 8 months. And last will be the compound interest. So compound interest is the interest calculated on the initial principal and also on the accumulated interest of previous periods of a deposit or loan. So we use the formula F is equal to P times the quantity 1 plus R all over N raised to NT, where F is the future value or final value of the investment or loan, including interest. Then P is the principal investment amount, or that is the initial deposit or loan amount. R is the annual interest rate in decimal. T is the number of years the money is invested or borrowed for. Then N is the number of times that interest is compounded for year. So we have additional information. So this is our n, which is the number of times that interest is compounded per year. So if it is compounded annually, meaning to say that is one time a year. If it is semi-annual, that is two times a year. If it is quarterly, then that is four times a year. Monthly will be 12 times a year. And daily will be 365 times a year. For example, if an amount of 7,000 Philippine peso is deposited into a savings account at an annual interest rate of 6% compounded monthly, what is the value of the investment after 5 years? For the solution, so for the P, that is equal to 7,000. For the rate, that is 6% or 0.06. For N, which is 12. It is because that is compounded monthly. Then the time is 5. Then substitute now these values into the formula. So F now is equal to 7,000 times the quantity 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12 raised to 12 times 5. So that is 7,000 times 1.005 raised to 60. So the final answer is 9,441.95. Therefore, the amount of 9,441.95 Philippine peso is the amount of investment after 5 years. Another example, find the amount at the end of 10 years if 17,535 Philippine peso is invested at 2.45% compounded quarterly. So, for the given, the principal amount is 17,535. The rate is 2.45 or that is 0.0245. N is equal to 4 since that is compounded quarterly, and T is equal to 10. Then plug those values into the formula. So that is now 17,535 times 1 plus 0.0245 divided by 4 raised to 4 times 10. Then simplify further. So that is 17,535 times 1.006125 raised to 40. Then the final answer is 22,386.35. Therefore, the amount of 22,386.35 Philippine peso is the amount of investment after 10 years. So that is the computing of interest. Thank you for watching and I hope you have learned something.